All right, welcome to the podcast, guys. I'm so excited today for today's guest, Vaughn.
Hi.
God. Beautiful energy worker, healer, magician, breathwork coach, all the things. So tell us about yourself. An angel.
It's so hard to describe who I am at this phase of my life because I'm so different than who I've ever been. I just kind of had my spiritual awakening 7-8 years ago, and I discovered breath work while I was on a personal growth retreat. And at that moment I was just like, what is this? I need it in my life. And then I couldn't find anybody in Atlanta especially that brought in all the shamanic elements that I loved of breath work that I had discovered. So it took me a full year from discovering it to realize that I was the one that was supposed to be bringing this to myself and my community. And so I went and got trained and certified, and it'll be 6 years that I've been facilitating breathwork experiences.
It's amazing. Truly, I tell everybody this story, but 5 years ago, you changed my life through breathwork. And it was a day I was still working in the hospital, slightly hungover, not wanting to be there in a huge audience. And you were just up on stage and you had this bright energy you have now. And you're just okay, guys, breathe for 5 minutes. I was okay, I can do it, right? What is this? What's this going to do to me? And unbelievably started uncontrollably crying. And I couldn't stop. And so the whole point, I feel I was I have to find out what this girl does, what was triggered in me. So when someone first experiences breath work with you, what is that like? And how does that open a door for someone that knows nothing about this?
Yeah, when we met, when we're so filled up with emotion, just stuck emotion that we have not had the opportunity to process through. We literally are just shoving it down because who has time to process through their emotions, right? So we just keep shoving. And this is for our entire lifetime. For me personally, and I feel for most people, we're highly sensitive people. We feel emotions deeply, and especially as kids, and we just don't have that environment. We're just not taught for that to be supported, to feel your feelings, process, whatever it is, whether it's rage or, grief or sadness.
Joy or
just all the things, we're just just tone it down, shove it down. And so once I finally gave myself permission to kind of move through that, I realized just the importance of expression, full expression of our emotions. So when we first met and you were you were very full of emotion. And so with that breath, our breath is so intuitive and it is so medicinal when we use it in this way. It is considered breath work. That doesn't necessarily mean it's hard, but you do have to work for that experience. And so it's a connected pattern of breath that gets you, number one, into an altered state of consciousness. I describe it as an active meditation. Simultaneously, while you're getting into this other zone of consciousness, your breath is literally going into your body and clearing out all the stuck, stagnant emotion and energy that your body's been holding on to. And one of my favorite things to say is you will only release and receive anything that you are ready for. Yep. So a lot of people are well, I don't want to come to your class because what if something comes down that I don't remember? I'm scared of that.
Yep.
And that's where cultivating safety in our body and in our nervous system is so important. And that's another thing that can just really be worked on through our breath, because our lower belly houses all of our lower chakras, which is where we shove all of our emotions down. That's why so many of us have unhealthy guts.
Yes.
And so the more that we can breathe into that, we're stirring up some of that emotion, and simultaneously we are helping to calm our nervous system, because our central nervous system is also in our belly space. So it's our second brain, right? Yeah. It really is just incredible how full body, mind, body, and spirit this experience really can be when you use it and when you work it.
Well, and I can attest, it's life-changing. It takes you to another world. Yeah. It's not just that it changes your life, it's that it makes you look at your own life in a different way, which is, it's hard to do. It's almost this complete shift in perspective. So can you lead us through just a 2-minute quick breath, and maybe for our listeners, they can get recentered? And
yes, absolutely. So typically when we take a deep breath, we take that deep breath in our shoulders rise, our chest rise, and everything is like in our upper body, right? Like take a deep breath, and that's the first thing we do. Our shoulders rise up to your ears. So just go ahead and take a deep breath and notice that. And that feels good, but let's take it a step further. So we're gonna breathe in through our nose, and we're gonna let that breath go all the way down into the lowest part of our belly space. And because we are so used to breathing only from our chest up, we're not used to really going down deep into our diaphragm. It's easy to get frustrated because you're like, I'm not doing it right. And then all of a sudden you give up. And it's just like, no, it's our breath. Like, this is so beautiful. Like, we're just using it, and we're retraining our body how to breathe. So allow that breath to move in through your nose. And then as much as you can, try to take it down into the lowest part of your belly space so that your belly naturally, without force, pokes out.
I love that.
And then once it's filled up, it just moves through your torso, up through your chest, and then you exhale out of your mouth with intention and purpose of letting go. And I feel like we focus a lot on the inhale, but in my experience over the past 6 years, really the exhale is where it's at. Because the deeper the exhale, naturally, we need to breathe right back in.
Yep.
So let's just go ahead and settle in for just a moment and just roll out your shoulders. Take a couple normal deep grounding breaths without thinking about the pattern or the structure. Just let out a verbal sigh. And now you can begin letting that breath move in through your nose, going all the way down into your belly space, filling it up, letting it move up through your torso, and exhaling. And as soon as you let that breath out, we bring it right back in. This is where the work is. We let it go, and we bring it right back in. We let it go, and we bring it right back in. Letting yourself hear and feel your inhale and your exhale. Really feeling it move through your body. It's so easy, it's so natural. It is the way our body desires to be breathing. When we have anxious feelings, when we are feeling out of control and we don't know what to do with ourselves, and we're thinking about the future, or we're reliving the past, this breath right here, right now, can bring you back to the present moment where you are connected to your breath, your body, and you're like, okay, I am right here, I am safe, I am alive, I am okay. And so that's good. Really the ultimate goal in this lifetime, is to live a present life where we are right here, right now. And it's so easy for us to think about the future. Anxiety is simply fear of the unknown. And we're fearing the unknown. Really what we should be doing is embracing the unknown. And that fear obviously is going to be there, but we can retrain our nervous system to release that fear and to truly live in the present moment. And then when we feel those anxious feelings come up, we have the tools. All this is just a tool to help you live a more fulfilled, present, abundant life.
Yeah, I mean, that was just doing that just now.
I know.
Because we're hosting an event tonight, which I want to get into all the types of events that you do and retreats, but it just like recentered me. It's like everything else disappeared.
Yeah.
Did you read the book by James Nestor, Breath?
Yes.
So good.
So amazing.
Life-changing. Highly recommend it, because it just talks about how you can literally breathe yourself well. You can also breathe yourself sick. Mm-hmm. It talks about how high palate and mouth breathers causing tooth issues and all kinds of illnesses, because our nose is so good at making sure we're not breathing in toxins. Yeah. And so when we're mouth breathing and all day, we're not even expelling the bad stuff either. You know, I learned from you, and even it's like I know all this stuff and I forget to stop and breathe.
We're really retraining ourselves. I mean, you know, we are human beings. We're living our life. It's so easy to get caught up in our day and in our moments. But just again, that breath, when we can remember and be like, oh yeah, wait, I can breathe and I can get rid of that, and I can be right here, right now, and release all of that anxiety that my body is trying to tell me, you know, that, oh, what's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm out of control.
Yeah.
You know, and we're just like, oh wait, actually, I know how to handle this.
Well, and it's beautiful because I love being weird, and like you get so weird in your breath work because we just like stick our tongues out, dance,
my gosh,
make noises, and it just feels good to do that. Like we used to do that stuff as kids. It almost feels natural to like start making weird like noises. And I love doing that in breath. And I can't wait to kind of get weird and
like
dance
my
around.
Favorite thing.
Oh my God,
we've gotten so disconnected from that essence of ourselves that is verbal, that is expressive, that wants to release. Like our bodies know how to release and to feel and be free.
Yep.
And that's all our soul wants is freedom.
And we're so used to, like, you know, as kids, and we do a lot of child therapy too, where you bring yourself as a kid back into your life now, and you try and re-coax her, because we're told to like sit down and be quiet and not make noise, and you know, sit in the back of the classroom, but we wanted to run around and be silly, and so it's like so fun to do that as an adult. And I love like eclectic dance, and you know, it's like we're just worried what other people think, and it's like, why? They want to be weird too, so like, who cares? Let's just be weird.
And the weirder the better. Like we all know, you know, that because that's something that we witness within other people, you know, like the more wild I get, the more I just love myself, because I'm like, oh my God, this is me. Like this is who I am in my fullest nature of myself. And the more I let that part of myself shine through, the more I love myself, and the more I love myself, I really don't care what anybody else thinks of me.
Yeah, I love it. So tell us, we're doing a little girls' night in tonight. This is so fun. We're doing breath, sound healing. We're gonna paint and do all this stuff, and we have some little bites and obviously toys to play with, because you're gonna lead us through some breathing. But tell us about your retreats, how we can find you, what else you can do for us.
Well, retreats are a huge part of my passion in my offerings. I host classes in and around Atlanta, and I have a monthly membership. Actually, this just launching right now. I
haven't heard about this. I'm ready.
It's actually just coming right now. It's that accountability, you know, where once a month, you know that you can count on this class where we're coming together virtually in the comfort of your own home, and I am guiding you and helping you to connect to your breath in that moment, and whatever energies are happening in the cosmos in that particular season of life. But retreats are really where it's at, because you've been and you're coming. I mean, they're so amazing, because a class, you know, we're together for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I always stretch it because I'm like, I don't want to go, you know. But people have to go home and like do life, you know. But when we're on retreat, they're always at least 3 nights, and we just go there. I mean, if you need to be in a experience, you know, 2 hours later than, you know, if everybody else is like, okay, I'm done, you know, I'm going to go to my room, or I'm going to go enjoy nature or whatever, you know, like there's complete freedom at my retreats, you know. But if you are here and you still are processing through something that your body and your soul is ready to let go of, then I'm going to be right there with you, and we're just going to go through all the things, and we can stay as long as we want.
Well, and they're so good, and I'll attest this because I've been to a few. You go in and you're a little scared because you're like, I don't know how it's going to be with these other people, and are they more experienced in wellness or breath than me? And it's like, no, everybody is in their raw, vulnerable state, and these women become your sisters, your moms, your best friends. And it's like, we're all busy. We all have kids or husbands and responsibilities. But if I don't go fill my cup at these retreats, I am not who I need to be for my kids. And there's so many studies that it's like a happy mom is what makes a happy kid as an adult. So you showing up, it's like, it's okay. Just find, you know, that help if you can so that you can escape for the weekend. Because it is better to be like the immersive side and come 3 days, or 4 days. I mean, they've changed my life.
They really are life-changing when you can commit to yourself. And one of my favorite things to say is, I always say this at the very beginning, we all paid the same amount of money to be here. We're all seeking the same thing, which is freedom. You know, like, it doesn't matter where you're at on your level of like whatever, because we're all going through it. We're all going through it. And so when we can just show up in that place of like, this is me, this is what I'm going through, this is you, this is what you're going through, and then what you spoke of about the weaving of our energies together, it's like we just literally heal through each other, which is the way we will heal the world.
Well, it is. And I mean, you know, like, I'm in regenerative medicine, which is the science, and my big mission, I think, is blending these. It's like, okay, here's the science of like how we can heal people with our bodies, right? Here's some peptides and stem cells, and here's breath, but it's that community, it's that breath, it's that feeling supported, it's working on yourself with that is what can heal us and the world. And we have to have both. When people want things to work better, I'm like, you have to work on yourself. You have to work on yourself. And I don't mean like going to the gym harder and longer and studying in books. It is like literally
going within.
Because the further you get away from yourself, like looking for happiness, the further you are from the prize. So
it's amazing to me, like how I did not know myself before. You know, like I thought I did. I knew myself. I was living my life, and then all of a sudden, like the more I go into myself, I'm like, wow, I had no idea that version of me existed in here, and it just keeps. I know, and it just keeps getting. And same thing with you. You know, like we just keep getting better and better. The more we know ourselves and show ourselves, it just gets better and better.
Thank you so much. So how can everybody find you?
Instagram's always fun, and I have a website, and I have a podcast too. I have a really good podcast.
I love your podcast.
It's called Cosmic Healing. It's become like kind of a personal diary for me, because I've just been going through. You know, we're all in it, and so the more I get to share my story, it's just being like, oh, so this is possible. Like, because I'm learning, I'm like, oh, didn't know. You know, the higher we rise up in consciousness, the more we're learning. And my favorite expression right now is the only thing I know is I don't know anything. And so if we can look at that and just be like, I don't know anything, let's go learn more today. You know, then that's it, always evolving. Exactly. We're never perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. So thank you so much, Bonnie. I love you so much.
Thank you. And I can't wait. Yay.